In this video, we're going to learn what's called the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. So to start off, let's talk a little bit about what the word converse actually means. You don't need to write all this out, but please do pay attention and think about it. So if you Google converse, the first thing you're going to find is something about conversations. And we're not talking about that meaning. That's when you're using it as a verb. We're talking about converse as a noun, I do believe, which more generally means like in reversed order, sort of like it's very similar to inverse. In math, though, it specifically means when you switch the hypothesis and the conclusion for a theorem or a proof. You're going to use this word converse a lot when you get into your geometry class next year. So, for example, a theorem, very basic one, might say that if a shape is a square, then it has four sides. That seems reasonable. I think we can agree that that is a true statement, that all squares have four sides. The converse says that if a shape has four sides, then it is a square. Now, that's problematic because you can probably think of some four-sided shapes that are not squares. So in this instance, the theorem is true, but the converse is not. Now for the Pythagorean theorem, which says that if a triangle is right, if it's a right triangle, then the Pythagorean theorem works. We are accepting that is true because we spent some time exploring it. We haven't proved it yet. We're going to do that once I'm back in class. The converse would say that if the Pythagorean theorem works, then the triangle is right. So if you can use the Pythagorean theorem and it gives you a true statement, then the triangle you're trying this on is in fact a right triangle. And in this case, that is actually also correct. So we can use the converse just the way we do the theorem. They are both true. All right, so now let's go ahead and write that out. So this is notes. The converse of the Pythagorean theorem is your title. We're going to say that if the Pythagorean theorem is true for a triangle, then it must be a right triangle. This is a way of proving whether you have a right angle or not, which is a really useful thing in geometry to be able to prove that something is a right angle. So let's look at an example. Let's say that this mystery triangle has one side length 3, one side length 4, one side length 5. Now, we don't know if there is a right triangle in here, but by looking at it, it looks like this one, this angle right here, might be a right angle. Maybe that's 90 degrees. It doesn't have the little square in it, so we don't know for sure, but we think it might be. So let's set up our Pythagorean theorem and see. Now, if you didn't have a picture, you would decide which side to test for C by seeing which length was the longest, because the hypotenuse is always the longest side. So we're going to do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. And then we're going to see if that works. So that gives us 9 plus 16 equals 25. And that does, in fact, work. Hooray. Let's try it again, this time without the picture, because when you don't have to have the picture, you have to decide where to put in your numbers. Oh, and before we do that other example, I should note that you do, in fact, need to state as a sentence whether it worked or not. You can't just show the work. You have to give a yes or a no. Converse questions are always yes or no questions, so that yes or no has to be there. All right, so let's look at our example now. So let's say that we have a triangle with one side length of 2, one side length of 5, and one side length of the square root of 30. So now we have to decide which of these is the possible hypotenuse and which two are the possible legs. Because once again, we don't know if this is a right triangle or not. So we're going to say that in order to do that, we need to know which length is the longest. So that means, is 5 longer or is square root of 30 longer? I think we can assume that 2 is not the longest length. Well, square root of 30 is going to be somewhere between the square root of 36, aka 6, and the square root of 25, which is 5. So square root of 30 is going to be somewhere in between 5 and 6, like maybe 5.5, 5.4, 5.6. Doesn't really matter because it's definitely bigger than 5. So that means that root 30 would be our C value because it is the longest. So now let's set up our equation. So 2 squared plus 5 squared equals root 30 squared. That's 4 plus 25 equals, and then square root of 30 squared, that's just 30. And now, is that a true statement? Does 4 plus 25 equal 30? No, it does not. So we say no, not a right triangle. All right, so take a minute to finish copying down all those notes, and then we're going to do a couple more before you start on your worksheet for today. All right, so now we have another triangle, and we have to decide which side might be the hypotenuse. So I can tell by looking at it that this over here looks like maybe a right angle, which would make the 4 root 2 the hypotenuse. If I didn't have the diagram, I could also see that this must be the longest side because the square root of 2 is bigger than 1, and 4 times something bigger than 1 is going to make it larger than 4. So I'm going to write it out. 4 squared plus 4 squared equals 4 root 2 squared. And remember, by saying this, I'm not saying that that is true. I'm just trying to see if it is going to be true. And I'm going to treat it till the end, and then I'll see if it worked. Okay, and then obviously I have to square that thing at the end too. Don't forget those parentheses. They'll mess you up if you don't use them. So then I'll do the math. So 16 plus 16. And then how do we deal with that beast right there? Squaring 4 root 2. So you're going to mess up less if you just write it out times itself. Just do the meaning of the square. And then we know that 4 root 2 is really 4 times root 2. So then you can just reorder all your factors here. So you get 4 times 4 times root 2 times root 2. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So now I have 16 times 2, which is 32. And 16 plus 16 also equals 32. So in this case, it worked. Yes, this is a right triangle. Okay, so you have a worksheet very similar to the one you did yesterday. This one, however, has kind of a mixture of problems. So you're not only going to be doing the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, but you are actually going to be doing the Pythagorean theorem sometimes as well. And in those problems, you are going to be asked to do things like use a side length that's in root form. So you're going to have to practice this guy up here, knowing how to square something that's a simplified radical. Be careful. There is an answer key that you can ask to see to check your work. I will be asking the substitute to collect it at the end of the period so that I can see the evidence of your productivity. Good luck.